Michael Jackson, a name that needs no introduction. He wasn't just the king of pop, but a global cultural icon, a musical legend who defined an entire generation. In the history of music, few artists have left such a lasting legacy. The moonwalk, timeless hits like Thriller, Billie Jean, Beat It, and Heal the World. These are not just songs, they are enduring pieces of musical history. But behind the dazzling spotlight was a life marked by tragedy, hidden pain, and a death that remains surrounded by mystery to this day. Born in 1958 in Gary, Indiana, a dusty, working-class industrial city, Michael was the seventh of 9 children in a struggling family. His father, Joseph Jackson, worked at a steel plant and was also a passionate amateur musician. Driven by dreams of fame and fortune, Joseph was a strict, some would say brutal, disciplinarian who pushed his children relentlessly into music. Michael once described his childhood as a nightmare, full of fear, physical punishments, endless rehearsals, and emotional trauma. Just the sight of his father made him nauseous. He had no childhood, no friends, only rehearsals and fear. But from that torment, a genius emerged. At just 6 years old, Michael began performing with his family group, the Jackson Brothers, which later became the Jackson 5. The group quickly rose to fame, signing with Motown Records in 1968 and topping the Billboard charts with hits like I Want You Back, A, B, C, and The Love You Save. Michael's natural talent and magnetic stage presence made him the standout star. Before he even turned 14, he had already released successful solo singles like Got to Be There and Ben. His solo career reached unprecedented heights with the release of Thriller in 1982, a collaboration with legendary producer Quincy Jones. The album became a phenomenon, selling over 100 million copies worldwide, the best-selling album of all time. At this point, Michael Jackson was no longer just an entertainer. He was a global phenomenon, a cultural symbol. But with fame came scrutiny, controversy, and personal tragedies. One of the most controversial topics surrounding Michael was the changing color of his skin. Rumors swirled in the media that he was rejecting his black heritage, bleaching his skin to appear white, undergoing extensive plastic surgery, or even sleeping in an oxygen chamber to slow aging. But during his famous 1993 interview with Oprah Winfrey, watched live by over 62 million Americans, Michael emotionally revealed that he had been diagnosed with vitiligo and lupus, 2 autoimmune conditions that caused his skin to lose pigment uncontrollably. He used makeup to cover the blotches and even out his complexion. The lightening of his skin, he said, wasn't a choice. It was the only way he could appear in public. I can't help it, he said, but millions of people tan in the sun to darken their skin, and no one says a word. Fans began to understand. The term vitiligo entered public awareness. In a 1988 letter to photographer William Perch, Michael wrote, "I love all people on this planet. Prejudice is just ignorance. We are all born the same, naked." Shortly after his death, investigators found 2 pigment-reducing medications, Benoquin and hydroquinone, in his home, both commonly prescribed to vitiligo patients. His autopsy confirmed that his skin was almost completely devoid of melanin, undeniable evidence of the truth he had long tried to share. But just as one burden was being lifted, another storm came crashing down. Michael dreamed of a place free of fear and judgment, and so he created Neverland, inspired by the magical world of Peter Pan. It was a child's paradise. Amusement rides, a zoo, movie theaters, music playing from stone fountains, castles, vintage lamps, and even a chimpanzee named Bubbles. Michael often invited children from charities to visit, partly because he loved children, and partly because he himself had never known a true childhood. Yet this closeness would become his greatest controversy. In 2019, the documentary Leaving Neverland shocked the world. In it, two men, Wade Robson and James Safechuck, claimed they were sexually abused by Michael when they were boys. Their stories included diamond rings, mock weddings, and secret locations within Neverland. Rooms above the movie theater, bathtubs, attics. But no concrete evidence was ever presented. Even the supposed ring could not be verified. Public opinion split. Some believed the film exposed the truth. Others called it a shameful media attack on a man who could no longer defend himself. In reality, Michael had faced such accusations before. In 1993, he was accused of molesting a boy named Jordan Chandler. The case ended with an out-of-court settlement. In 2003, he was charged again, this time by Gavin Arvizo. That trial lasted 5 months, ending in a full acquittal for Michael. Though cleared by the law, the emotional toll, damage to his reputation, and growing isolation left lasting scars. The final tragedy struck on June 25, 2009. Michael Jackson died suddenly at his Los Angeles home at the age of 50. Cause of death: acute intoxication from propofol, a powerful anesthetic. His personal physician, Dr. Conrad Murray, was arrested and later convicted of involuntary manslaughter, serving 2 years of a 4-year sentence. Investigators found that Dr. Murray had administered propofol nightly for 2 months to help Michael sleep, without proper medical supervision or monitoring equipment. When Michael stopped breathing, Murray delayed calling emergency services and instead instructed security to hide the drugs, a clear attempt to cover his tracks. Prosecutors called it not just medical negligence, but criminal recklessness that led directly to Michael's death. Michael Jackson is gone, taking with him a lifetime of unanswered questions and unresolved pain. He once said, "I love all races. I believe that all people are created equal." But throughout his life, he was surrounded by criticism, suspicion, and relentless controversy. Even today, the world still doesn't have a definitive answer to who Michael Jackson truly was. But if music is the most honest language, then Michael never truly left us. His melodies still echo, making us cry, smile, and remember a legend, not just of music, but of an entire era.